comment, like, and subscribe. July 28th, got the tune working on it, had to switch out some coal stuff. As you can see, it runs great. Running great. Good, and that's not even wide open throttle. That's like a little over half throttle, half 3/4. It is rowdy. Things happening here. I think the valve springs are weak. Temperature's doing good. I think something's up with the valve springs maybe. So still July 28th, got a chance to work on this thing tonight after work. So you'll notice there's a bunch of parts laying down here and a bunch of stuff up here on my table. And you'll see the starters hanging down and what's going on here. Well, I'm about to pull this drain off from the supercharger and then 2 bolts and the supercharger comes off. I've already got the transmission out and the bell housing off, starter off, drive shaft out. That's over here. There's the radiator and contour fans. Here's the brand new TKX transmission that has, I don't know, 100, 150 miles on it, maybe. But we're pulling this motor out because there's something going on with it. I don't know if it's weak valve springs. I don't know if I nipped the head gasket, hurt a valve, but it runs good, cruising idle. Actually cruises really good, and you saw me re-roll into it, it'll start smoking the tires and pull. Once it gets to about 5 grand, it just kind of lays over, and it won't make more than about 10 pounds of boost. So something's happening. Don't know what's happening with it, but at this point we're just gonna pull it out and tear it down and see what's going on. I didn't feel like pulling the headers off, and sure enough, I can get it in. You just kind of gotta twist it out, but it's coming. It's coming. Well, just share a little more progress. Everybody's seen how to take a small block Ford in and out, but I went ahead and started disassembling and taking all the big pieces off, rocker arms, push rods, and now I'm about to pull the heads off and we'll see what we're working with. So that's kind of a cool surprise. I thought this motor had flat top, probably dished. That is not a flat top or dish. That is a dome piston. That's what I'm talking about. Must be why it runs so good. It's got all the compression. That's awesome. Then the heads. Like I say, everything looks fine with the motor. I'd expect it to, because it starts and runs and cruises fine. It's just high RPM. It seems to have a miss or something in it. So I'm curious to see if those valve springs are just dead. All right, welcome back. It is the 29th. This is the 331 I pulled out, which had dome pistons and smaller Ford X302 heads, 194, 154 valve. which did decent. Not sure what cam's in here, but it worked really well with the combo. I love it has dome tops. That should make more power, so I feel like a better set of heads, a different camshaft, this thing would be rowdy. But for now, because I don't have time to do all that, I have now picked up yet another motor. This is a 347 stroker. This one has never been in a car. It was supposedly engine dynoed, made like 500 horsepower. It's got a nice set of AFR Renegade heads on it, and I don't know much more from that. The guy's supposed to try to find the specs for me, because of course he bought it secondhand. Same guy that I got that one from, Bobby, my buddy Bobby Starks. So I'm getting ready to pull this out. I've got a few things to do on it. As you can see, we had the bolts out from the crank, and there was oil in it, and it has now made an absolute mess of my truck. So let me get this out, and then we'll see about trying to stick it together and get it in the car, because tomorrow I have shoulder surgery. I gotta go this done as much as I can today. And I've started disassembling, got the headers off, got my mid plate on, got my flywheel stacked up there. I gotta tighten the bolts down. My valve cover gaskets, which are brand new and reusable. My valve covers, because those other ones are too tall. And you can just see here kind of the roller rockers, how clean this motor is. This motor is literally brand new. It was engine dyno time only, really. And yeah, so it's brand new motor, AFR Renegade heads, which should make power. We'll see. All right, a couple hours later, got the headers on with the copper gaskets, which are a pain. You need to open up the holes a little bit just because the middle ones didn't want to go in. Clutch and bell housing on, dipsticks on, valve covers on, oil filters primed and got put on. This little contraption here gives me my oil pressure sensor for the Holly, and this feeds the Vortex supercharger, and this is the sensor for the factory gauges. Got my radiator hose on, my water pump pulley, and my Vortex pulley. And you'll notice these screws I had to use because whoever had this water pump and pulley combo had drilled these to a different type of thread, so I had to use theirs, but that's fine. Now I'm about to set it down so I can break the intake manifold loose, clean it all up, and then I can put my intake manifold on it. So what's up? It's 7:30. As you can see, I literally just got out of surgery like 2 hours ago, and I'm home still feeling the effects of being numb, can't feel my right hand type of thing. But you know, I was so close last night getting this thing ready, so I just hooked up the ground, put the battery in it, got to hook up the positive. It's hard doing all this with one hand, but it's got oil in it, don't need a radiator just to crank it. And I'd like to see if it'll spin over and actually crank. So I might try to give that a whirl in a second, see if I got any fuel leaks. But I'm itching to see if this thing runs good. Well, here goes nothing. So it cranked, but it had a really bad vibration in it. Morning, YouTube. So I had surgery on Wednesday on my other shoulder, the one that needed surgery originally. I never got to it because my left one's had surgery twice. Long story short, they sewed it back together. The tear wasn't as bad as the other one. The other one, I did a reverse implant on it, and it's been 3 months, so I was able to do my right one. The problem was I just got the 347 installed in the 87 Saleen. Here's the 331. And I couldn't find nothing really wrong with the motor. I was having number 5 cylinder, wasn't firing the same. And then later on, I got it to run pretty good, but then at 5,000 RPM, it would start just breaking up real bad. So I feel like it's the valve springs. This is the old school Ford Race It X302 heads. And I feel like the valve springs probably need to be replaced. Maybe a valve job and all that, but either way, it ran fine at idle, it cruised fine, but I feel like what I'm gonna do with this motor's really cool. It's got the big pan, girdle, and all that on it, and it's got the dome pistons in it, which I think are really awesome. I didn't realize I had those. I was gonna go to a twisted wedge head, but with those pistons of being a dome, I don't think they're gonna clear. So I'm gonna have to do an inline head. I've got AFR Renegades on this motor now. They're the 185s. But either way, I think what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna change the cam because it's an unknown cam on this motor. I'm gonna stay hydraulic roller, but I think I'm gonna pull all of it apart, change the cam, something custom, get a set of heads for it that are inline, that'll clear those reliefs I've got there, and just make a really stout piece. So some really superior heads, a really awesome camshaft, and try to get the compression. I'd like to have at least 11-to-1 compression or more, and I think that thing is going to be rowdy. But either way, for now, what I'm doing is I got the 347M. There's a little bit of a mystery. When I got it, the guy I bought it from, Bobby, who I bought the other motor from, he had this flywheel, and this is a stock Ford flywheel. And you can see by the weight, that's a 50 ounce. Well, we put it on, and the problem was it shook really bad because I use my flywheel where I can change the weight, and that motor sitting on the stand's a 28 ounce balancer and flywheel. So what I'm gonna do is pull the flywheel off, take the 50 ounce weight off, put a 28 ounce on it, and then fire it up and see if it still has a shake to it. If it won't for that, it cranks and runs good, but it's got a bad shake. You can tell it's definitely something off with the crank balance. And if that doesn't fix it, then maybe it's also with the balancer itself. Now this thing has a stock Ford balancer on it, but what Bobby and I talked about was when he bought the motor, it was kind of sitting over in a corner at this guy's shop. And what we believe is, if you notice, he had these pulleys on it. He was going to do a root style blower on it. And what we believe is it probably had this like rattler balancer on it or fluid damper. It was one of them was sitting beside all this stuff. We think that balancer may have been on it. And when they went to change all these parts, they took it off and put a stock one on for some reason. Not really necessary understanding the balance might not be the same. I don't know. But we're gonna try the flywheel weight first. Basically just bolt the bell housing on and put my starter on it, no clutch, and just see if it's smooth. And if it's smooth, we're done. If it's not, then I'm gonna pull the balancer off of that motor and put on here because I know that balancer's 28. And we'll see if we can get it to be smooth. All right, so got Mrs. TT out here to help me. So she got the flywheel wiggled off. You see it's got the 50 ounce weight on it, which is here. I just took the screws out of it. And nice thing about this flywheel, I can change the weight, but that's pretty heavy. This one, by comparison, smaller and lighter weight. So it's gonna go on here. And then we'll put the screws back in it. Need a little dab of blue Loctite. And then we'll put it in the car, just with the bell housings, and bolt up the starter, crank it, see if the vibration's gone. So here's where we are. 28 ounce balance flywheel put on it. The shake is better, but it's still there. Nowhere near as violent, but I can still feel it. No transmission in it, no clutch in it. I've got a jack under the bell housing to support the motor, and you can still feel it. When you rev it up, it seems to smooth out a little bit, but at idle, it definitely has a shake in it. So now I'm wondering if it is the balancer. It's just not the right balancer for it. So I'm gonna get a 28 ounce balance for it. I was gonna pull the one off of this motor, but I started looking at it. This rubber's coming out. So, I mean, this one's gonna need a new one anyway, so I might as well buy a new 28 ounce balance, put it on here, and hopefully that's gonna fix it. But the 50 ounce was really violent. The 28 ounce is better. And so we're getting there. I think I just need a 28 ounce balance, and hopefully that's gonna smooth it out even more. And it's been a little over a week and a half now, so I'm trying to go back and do some very light things out here. My wife gives me the third degree every time I try to do anything. She goes, oh, well, don't worry. In a couple months, you can have surgery again since you like getting surgery so much. Anyway, today I'm trying to do simple stuff. I'm waiting for a balancer to come in. I ordered a new 28-ounce balance. With this motor, this is the 347. It came in with 50-ounce type of flywheel and balancer, but they were not correct. So I ended up putting a 28-ounce weight on my flywheel, and it made the shaking go away almost 100%. And idle still has a little shake, and it had a stock balancer. So I'm getting a 28-ounce balancer from LMR and putting that on it. So now I have a 28 front and rear. That should smooth out the rest of the way. Should be good to go, but it fired up, ran good, had good oil pressure, no smoke. So I'm expecting this motor to be pretty stout. You wonder why I got all this out? It's because I'm getting rid of the old AC condenser and discharge line and the accumulator and all that, and I've got a brand new one from Rock Auto. This is the new style condenser. First thing you'll see is it's not the tube and fin style. See how this one has those little humps in it? That's the old style. This is the newer style for it. I'm gonna put this on. I've already put in, this is my new line up here going to my new accumulator. I've already mounted down there. And this is a brand new line I just ran that goes from the compressor down to the condenser. So the only line I didn't change was the one from the condenser to the firewall to the inside there. But I'm about to put all this in. I will tell you, I had a heck of a time getting this line off. It just wouldn't come off no matter what I did. I have all the spring-loaded tools and all that. It was a real pain. So what I did is I took my Dremel tool and I cut it and I bent this out of the way, and it still wouldn't just slide off. I had to really twist and yang on it with one hand. So maybe if I could have used two hands, if my shoulder wouldn't hurt, and I could use two hands to really prise, it would have come off. But either way, I got it off. So I'm getting ready to put it in. That way I'll have brand new condenser. What that does, it's gonna help the airflow. So you'll see how this looks and how this looks. So more airflow will keep the engine running cooler, and updating all these components will make the AC system run even better. My stock compressor is still in good shape and works well. I've had a very slow leak, so hopefully changing these components will get rid of the leak. Unless it's in the compressor, we should be able to knock that off the list. Well, first problem I found, these are pop riveted on. The factory rubber brackets fit in here and hold it to the car. And when I put it in, it's just about 1 inch too short from sitting up in the brackets properly. So if these were bolted, it could be easy as unbolt it, move it down. So what I have to do is I have to drill the head off of these rivets, push them out, move this down 1 inch, which is basically the equivalent of 2 holes worth, and then I'll put some small bolts in it and nuts, and then it should fit properly. But you know, again, supposed to fit from Rock Auto. This is for 87 Mustang 5.0, and while it might be close, it is not exactly fit properly. So a little modification, we'll get that in there. All right, and just like that, it is mounted and the lines are connected here. You can see those little plastic inserts help the spring stay open. Pop those in and these pop out. So factory line here that goes to the firewall, brand new line here that snakes around under the vortex and comes up back at a compressor. And while I was in here, I said, you know what? I'm not gonna run nitrous on these stock blocks for the supercharger. So I took my nitrous stuff off all the way over to here with the RPM switch, and that is here now. So goes back in the box. Maybe another day in years, I might put it on a different car, but for now, I don't need nitrous on this fox body. New condenser, new line, can't wait. The air should work great. And as soon as I get my new balancer, then I'll be able to start the engine, make sure all the vibration's gone, get everything charged up with the AC, and then I can put the clutch and the transmission all back in it. But it's coming along slowly but surely. If my shoulders wouldn't have knocked me out of the game this year, I probably would have had a lot more content for you guys and gone to the track with this car. Something I never got around to getting done. The one time we loaded up and took this down to Rockingham, it rained when we got down there. So we waited around for about an hour. They didn't clean or dry the track, so we just basically didn't even unload it. We turned around and came back home. So it's a shame. That was a chance I was gonna run it on nitrous and see if it could go the elusive 10-second pass with the T5. Since then, as you know, broke the T5. I started going through the clutch. The clutch was slipping a little bit with the supercharger on it. And most recently, I pulled a 331 out. I had an intermittent number 5 firing problem. That's sitting there To my surprise, it had dome top pistons in it, but I think it's in the heads of the valve springs. So number 5 was intermittently firing, and over $5,000, it would act like it was hitting a wall, like maybe valve springs are weak. But either way, that's all off now. New 347 airflow research heads. This thing should be pretty stout and should pull pretty hard. So looking forward to it. I probably repeated myself 2 or 3 times in this. I've been filming this over the course of about a month. So stay tuned, new parts. Hope you like the content. Be sure to comment, like, and subscribe. Hit the bell so you're notified when I make new videos. For some reason, my videos are way down for viewership. They start off at like 100 or 200, and then within a month or so, they'll jump up to 2,000 or 3,000. So I don't understand what's happened, but if most of you guys are subscribed, just being notified, check out the videos. Let me know what you like, what you don't like, and I'll try to add some more content as my body allows me to do it. All right, thanks for hanging out. Talk to you soon.